The only reason why you're relevant is because you're involved in. Who are you? You're irrelevant. Like, hey.
He's no Boom, he's no Lee. Like, cut the guy a break.
Are you shut up, Dean?
Well, the men certainly told a lot on last night's episode of The Bachelorette, but did they tell enough?
Well, thankfully, we have 3 amazing women here to help us answer that question. Welcome back Season 20 Bachelor cast members, Caila Quinn and Olivia Caridi, and Bachelor superfan, Brandi Cyrus.
Great to see you, ladies.
Super
Thanks everyone coming in from all over the world here. Look at this, unbelievable. Last night, we saw the return of DeMario, and while his Bachelor in Paradise scandal was only briefly alluded to, he did get a lot of screen time and also addressed the reason that he was kicked off The Bachelorette. Let's take a quick look at the clip.
Here's what happens. This random-ass chick call in and say that she's my girlfriend. By you guys' logic, I'm Beyonce's boyfriend. I'm dating Rihanna.
Okay, no, because Beyonce didn't have physical proof.
She had text messages. I text everybody.
I kind of wanted Chris to ask if DeMario had text from Beyonce.
Right.
No, he does not. Brandi, how do you think DeMario handled himself last night?
Well, the things he says are just completely irrelevant and make no sense. And we know he was on Paradise, right? And clearly he learned nothing by being on Paradise because he's still saying the same dumb things that make no sense.
Caila, did your opinion of DeMario change at all after watching last night?
I mean, it just validated everything that's happened before. And if you read his tweets, he's just, you know, very self-absorbed. So,
What about you, Olivia? What do you think?
The side chick thing, like, you're on television. Why are you talking so disrespectfully? I don't know.
We're all in agreement. Look, Brandi started off, and I think everyone's kind of on board.
I agree too. So most of last night's episode was dominated by rehashing the drama that Lee caused with Kenny and the other men in the house. There's a lot of back and forth, but it led to this moment between Lee and Josiah. Watch this.
What's the difference between the NAACP and the KKK? One has a sense of shame to cover their racist-ass faces. Josiah, what do you want from Lee?
Lee, it's hard for me to fathom that you are somebody other than somebody who has racist views.
Well, I understand where you're coming from seeing that and not knowing it. I was being irresponsible in what I put out, and that was another thing about not being considerate that I said I thought about a lot.
But is that the way that you feel, though, really?
Absolutely.
Wait, no,
not that way at all. At all. I never felt that way.
This was a whole can of worms. I felt like Lee had been heavily coached. I don't know. Olivia, did Lee redeem himself at all last night?
I don't think so. I think most villains, when they go on the hot seat, they have a chance to apologize and be genuine about it. But I think with him, there's no getting around a tweet that was racist. Like, I think he spewed a lot of scripted BS, but no, I don't think he did.
And Caila, I mean, what did you think of how Lee and Kenny handled things?
I feel like I liked the ending. I thought it was on a high note. I thought he was redeemed a little bit because he asked for forgiveness, and there was, you know, they accepted it. So it was a merry-go-round where they were just going over and over again, and I think the producers see how this changes people's lives, and literally, like, if you use that R word, you'll be that for the rest of your life. So I think they wanted to, you know, give Lee something else to end on.
And what do you think, Brandi? What are your thoughts on this whole thing?
Yeah, you know, most of these guys, or girls, when it's the other way around, they go on and they continue to defend themselves. They continue to try to make what they did right, like DeMario, you know, just saying nonsense. But to me, at least Lee went on and kept his mouth shut, right? Like, at least he wasn't continually fighting back with the guys that were coming at him. Like, he just kind of sat in silence and took it until he was in the hot seat. And I thought that was at least, even if it was coached, it was a mature response to the way he had acted and the things that were being said.
Completely agree. It's kind of like the best thing he did was not say anything for the majority of the time he was being talked about. Rachel's done an amazing job, obviously, as the Bachelorette this season, but some fans are saying that her one misstep was telling Dean that she was falling in love with him just before kicking him off the show. We've talked a lot about that, but Dean finally got a chance to confront Rachel about that last night. Watch what she had to say.
But I meant it. Like 100%, like in that moment when you were like, I'm falling in love with you, it was a feeling that I had already had before that. And I told you that when I was sending you home, which, I mean, I know you didn't really want to hear again at that moment, but I meant it for me.
I can understand that, but I kind of feel like your response to me saying that was they were almost words of consolation, to where you wanted me to feel comfortable in that situation by saying what you said, but then that ultimately just led me to being much more heartbroken.
All right, so Caila, were you happy with Rachel's explanation here?
I was. I think just because you end something with somebody doesn't mean you don't love them. It just means it wasn't meant to be. And she loves other people more. So I thought she did a great job. And whether he accepts it or not is how ready he is to move on.
And Olivia, other than Dean having the best coat of the night, how do you think that he handled everything with Rachel?
I loved Dean last night. I loved how passionate he was about Lee's situation, how he was telling Waboom off. Like, I think Dean looked really good last night. I love him.
Yeah, and Brandi, the studio audience was really loving Dean last night. I mean, lots of applause. They responded to everything he said. Could he be our next Bachelor? What do you think?
Well, you know, he is such a fan favorite, and my friends and I were actually just looking at his Instagram numbers, and they're insane. But I think we all know that he ends up on Paradise, and I don't know, because he made the choice to go to Paradise, I feel like he's not going to be the Bachelor, because I feel like if he thought he had a chance at the Bachelor, he wouldn't have gone on Paradise.
I don't know, but anything's possible.
theory.
Nick Viall.
Well, these days, these days, anything's possible with the series.
Nick is just he's the exception though to that.
Yeah, that's very true. All right, before we find out the next Bachelor, of course, the current Bachelorette has to get engaged. So Peter, Brian, and Eric are all that remain. I want to hear your final predictions, ladies. Are they any different from last week? Let's go, Caila first.
Still the same, big Team Brian fan.
All right, Olivia.
Still Brian. I don't know if I'm a fan, but.
And Brandi.
I think she will end up with Brian, although the other two would be top choices for me over Brian.
All good stuff. Well, Caila, Olivia, and Brandi, thank you for joining us for our global conference of Bachelorette talk. Be sure to watch the Bachelorette, guys. Season finale next Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern. We can't wait to talk about that in about a week.
Thank you.
Bye, ladies.